Hi guys, so I'm just doing a couple quick videos throughout the day today since I'm traveling, and some of my friends are like, where are you? So I'm just gonna post these kind of as I go. Want to do a quick update on the Tropicana. So I arrived to the Tropicana on January 2nd. I'm leaving today, so I've slept here 7 nights. There's no rush for checkout. You can check out in the afternoon. I'm checking out at noon today because I have some, I'm gonna do some things with Nelson's children and homestead that I will show you later. But I wanted to say, so I think that it would be important for the matched families, and then even the unmatched families, who hopefully will get matched soon when the suspension lifts. If I still have a child here in Liberia in mid-June, which I probably will, I'll either have all three or I'll just have one, our son. I'm going to visit this mid-June, second or third week in June while they're out of school. And I would encourage any of the matched families or unmatched families that are close to being matched to come and visit. And let's do kind of a mission trip on it. I mean, you guys can, we're certainly giving to several nonprofits every time we come and supporting them. But I would like to do that and invite you guys to come. I plan to come. Even as a married woman traveling alone abroad, it's been really easy here. So my room rate on their webpage is $150 a night. I have this nice porch, and this is like the bedroom. Most of the rooms do have a stovetop. I didn't need a stovetop, so I wanted this room because it doesn't have a stovetop, but the two on either side of this do have a stovetop. In fact, I think one here has a stovetop, and then an adjoining room that's a smaller room that I stayed in the first night. That had a stovetop. So this is considered a deluxe room. There are rooms that are more like $100 a night, or maybe like $115 a night, that on their website that are on the other side. Now, if you tell them you're doing an adoption, or you tell them that you know me, they are more than likely going to give you a little discount, like a little 10% discount. If you stay for more than 3 weeks, you do get a 20% discount. So those discounts do help. The reason I like the Tropicana, I think it's extremely safe, even me alone traveling. If I was even traveling alone with children, I think I'd be safe here. There's great security. The beach is right there. There's a restaurant. They bring you excellent breakfast every morning that's included in your room. I actually had 2 breakfasts included in my room, so I did start ordering for Nelson, who's driving me around all week, to have a snack before we begin our ventures each day, when I figured that perk out. But I think that if you're unmatched or newly matched, you're going to end up traveling to Liberia a couple times anyway. And when you do come to adopt your children, you may be able to get in and out in 3 to 4 weeks. But if that's not realistic for you, you may be doing what I'm doing. I'm not going to stay longer than a week or two when I come to Liberia, most likely. I've already lived here, but it's a collective thing. So if you came now and visited your children and stayed a week and went home, you have to reside, by law, you have to reside in Liberia for 30 days before you can complete their adoption. But there's no start or end to that. It's cumulative. So it's not like you have to be here for 30 consecutive days. So, I was always here for 5 months. But let's say I'd never been here, ever. Then I could have come this week. This would have been 9 days. 8 days. I guess I'm leaving Liberia today, so it'll be 8 days, counting towards my 30. If I come back and do their court adoption, Liberia adoption, that's going to take about 10 to 12 days, maybe. So that's 10 to 12 days. So now we're up to 20 days. And then I come back to take them home, we're at 30. So the days of having to come reside in Liberia are done. And from an emotional standpoint and a traumatic standpoint, I think the families that have gone through this would agree. This used to be really smooth, and kids never had to go back to the orphanage and wait longer. This used to be really smooth, but there's been the bumps, obviously. And if your children, I think for my children, what I will do is I will come and visit them every 5 months or so until their adoption is ready to go. When their adoption is ready to go, I will adopt them legally in Liberia. And I will, I may let them spend a couple nights at the hotel for fun, like a vacation. But I'm not going to remove them from the children's home to reside with me for 1 to 2 weeks, or even 3 weeks, or 4. Some families ended up 4 or 5 weeks. I'm not going to do that and then tell them they have to go live there again. It's one thing to come for like a holiday. They kind of understand that in their head. It's another thing to start bonding with someone that you think you don't have to say goodbye to again. And I don't mean like goodbye because I'm going to work. I mean like goodbye because I'm crossing the ocean for an undefined time period. So I think from a psychological standpoint, what's in the best interest of the kids is that we adopt them on the Liberia side, but that they live there. And the other problem we're going to run into is our 2 daughters are going to be able to be adopted before our son, most likely, because his paperwork will lag because we decided to add him on. So I don't know. Legally, he can't come spend the night with me at all until he's legally adopted by me. So if I legally adopt the girls and they come spend the night and hang out all week, but he has to stay at the orphanage, it's not really fair. So I think, and they're safe there and they're happy there and things are okay there. So I think what I'll do, and then when we come to take them home, when I come back to take them home, I will I will visit them. We will do all the stuff. We'll get all the documents and things, but they will only sleep here with me in the hotel when I have their visa and their airline ticket and we are leaving. Like I'm not doing this back and forth with them, because the families that it happened to, it was surprising, it was shocking, it was difficult. But I still think that it's a smoother transition to go from this is where you permanently live to this is where you permanently live, with a little holiday in between here and there. I think that that's better. That's my idea. So the good news is for you matched families like me ones that have never been here, or you unmatched families that are hoping for the match. What you could consider as your Liberia travel is to plan on 3 trips. Now, could you get lucky? Could you have the kind of life where you could stay in Liberia a little bit longer and get lucky and be done in 3 or 4 weeks and only do 1 trip? Sure you could. But I'm just gonna be honest with you, that chance is not great. But what if you did this? What if you, at least one parent, maybe both, but let's just say one parent gets on a plane, spends, a couple $1,000s in airline tickets, about $1,000 for a room. So you're looking at around $3,000. You can probably, if Tropicana is going to feed you 1 meal for free, I ate at the restaurant almost every night and brought peanut butter sandwiches for if I got starving and some chocolate. And I spent $100 at the restaurant. Now, the other things that I did, like host 40 people, this is not something you need to do. That is an extra thing that I decided to do, but that's certainly not required. Visiting the children is basically free. You really just need to pay a driver about $10 a day, maybe $20 a day, to get you there and back. It's not a big deal. And when Albert can help, he will help. But go the first trip and spend your $3,000, right? Go the first trip, spend $3,000. It's an adoption-related expense because you're bonding with your children. Spend a week, get the lay of the land, enjoy the culture, meet your kids, visit their friends, do your thing. And then go home. Maybe come back 7 months later, their case history report's done. Great, you come back, they know you, they've met you. Maybe you've been, we're trying to find a way to correspond legally on WhatsApp. God bless Jimbo. Jimbo and I are really, I'm like, what about this idea? Maybe we can do this. I think we should do this. We tried this and it worked. And he's like, I don't think that that's legal. Let me check on the regulations. Nope, let's not do that. But maybe this, maybe that. Jimbo is trying, but he's also trying to protect us legally. So corresponding with our kids is still in flux, but we're going to figure it out. I know we are. But then let's say the next step is your kid's case history report gets signed, and that's great. The MOG releases it. That means you can go to court. Liberian court is easy. So you come, you bring your dressy Sunday best. Everybody dresses up. Everybody goes to court. You sit down. The judge makes you kiss the Bible, which is an honor and a fun thing to do. I've heard there's lipstick marks there. I can't wait to see it. And then your children are legally yours in Liberia. So I would recommend after that, come have a holiday at your hotel. Let them stay a couple nights. Let them have fun in the pool, play at the beach, whatever. But then let them go back to the orphanage where they know that they live. They can still go to school. Their life is still the same. They're working on goodbyes with their friends, goodbyes with their caregivers. It's smoother. And go home. Don't live at the mercy of the U.S. Embassy Consular's office. Don't live at the mercy of USIS. Don't. Go home and say, you know what? We don't know when they're going to let you come home, but this step is done, and we're going to go home now, and we'll come back. And if we'll come back in about 5 or 6 months, or sooner if they tell us we can. So they'll expect to see you in 5 or 6 months, and if they see you sooner, that's a bonus. From a psychological standpoint of a child, 3 trips: meet you, show you around, love you. This is fun. Liberia court. Fun, happy time, vacation, holiday. Legally, you get to spend the night with mom and dad in the hotel. Great. Go home. Use this. In those 3 trips, you're going to hit your 30 days. So you're going to spend $9,000 for 3 trips per person, right? But and you're going to have a few more fees, I'm sure, but we'll set that aside. From your cost of living, you're spending $9,000 a person. So plan on that. And if you do, then we can continue to maintain our jobs, our American culture, our families at home. We don't have to live in limbo and do that. It's the smoothest way. It seems like it would be more expensive to travel 3 times, but it's not, because your cost of living in Liberia is going to be higher than America to maintain your safety. So I think $9,000. If you want to round it up to $10,000 for travel, fine. Round it up to $10,000 for travel for yourself personally. But if you want to be, and again, that is like the ballpark of normal. Trust me, you can find ways to get discounted airline tickets, and I can tell you the tricks. You could probably come here and back and eat and stay safe, stay at the Tropicana, stay alive for less than $3,000. But when I'm presenting my Rachel math on my idea phase, this is what it is. And when we get down to actually it happening, it may be different. Maybe better, maybe worse, I don't know. But $3,000 is reasonable. Having lived here for 5 months, having bonded with my children, and then having spent a week with my son, and knowing just this week that I'm coming to get him again, I think that for these kids, quality over quantity is an important takeaway. Because I know that my girls love us, but because we were here before and he saw us bond with the girls and he knew we were coming back, my son is clicking quicker. But I still think we could have visited once. And from an emotional standpoint with them, I think it would have been okay. It's not what we chose, but it would have been okay. But I would highly recommend, having walked this uncharted territory so far, the families coming behind me that have not come to Liberia, get matched or realize that you're matched and do a introductory visit and spend $3,000 per adult and come bond with your kids. And then spend another $3,000 when it's time to go to court, and then spend another $3,000 and take them home. But don't live in a hotel with them and give them a false sense of primary caregiver attachment until you know for sure that you don't have to take it away again. That's something I would recommend. And I remember talking to Jimbo about this too, and it was kind of an idea he was throwing around. I was like, do you think that it would be better? Because this is it's not a 30-day consecutive, it's cumulative. And he was like, yeah, we've talked about that. We just worry about the expense on the families to travel more than once. And I'm like, yeah, but the cost of living in Liberia it's far outweighs. I mean, it's just different. So now that I know that, I think that it's there. And now that I've found a place that's safe. So if you want to bring your whole family to visit, the one thing that you're doing every time that you come is it's a mission trip for the kids at the orphanage. You're pumping hope and life into them. And if you choose to have an exciting day and you want to spend, $300, literally it's $300. If you want to spend $300 plus or minus a couple extra driver to help you, you're looking at $300 to $325 to give them a holiday that they will remember for the rest of their life. That's what I did. So give it some thought as I travel home. I would hope that I need to know that I don't want to say this. I'm trying to think of the right way to say it without sounding bad. Let me think. In this moment, I am speaking for your children and for my children. I'm speaking for the children in a way that makes it super, super simple for you to give them what they need. And they need to see you. Now, one thing I would recommend is, if you don't think that you have $3,000, and a lot of people don't, that's fine, put it to social media. Put it to your friends and family in the next, Christmas greeting card, not Christmas cards that just passed, but next greeting card, next event you have, just toss the idea around to your friends and family, because 30 people giving you $100, you're there, and then you're in. And people like to follow along on these stories because it's wonderful. It's heartwarming. We're saving these kids' lives. But I just want you to think about it. Okay, that's my first video for today. more videos to follow, but I'm going to post this now. So those of you that like to GPS track me, you can, start now.